Welcome back to the channel. What if I told you that the 1987 penny, a coin you probably have a handful of in your pocket right now, could be worth way more than you think? Yes, you heard that right. In fact, today we're diving into the 1987 1-cent coin, uncovering rare errors, its surprising history, and what makes this penny stand out among the rest. By the end of this video, I'll reveal how a penny, probably worth less than the cost of a candy bar, could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. Stick with me till the end, and you'll learn how to spot these rare, incredibly valuable 1987 pennies. You won't believe where some of these coins have ended up. The 1987 penny is much more than a piece of everyday change. For years, this penny has flown under the radar, until now. So, how exactly did this seemingly ordinary coin become such a topic of interest? Well, the 1987 penny wasn't the first to carry the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, but it still holds a special place in U.S. coinage history. By the time the 1987 penny came into circulation, the U.S. Mint had been using the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the penny for over 20 years. But 1987 marked a year of unique economic challenges, an era shaped by Reaganomics, high inflation, and a changing economy. When you hold a 1987 penny in your hand, you're holding a coin produced at a very specific moment in U.S. history. The design on the coin, showing the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was a tribute to President Abraham Lincoln, who was deeply connected to the nation's ideals of freedom and unity. But behind this coin's innocent-looking exterior is a tale that many collectors and coin enthusiasts have been eager to uncover. The 1987 penny is part of a larger era of U.S. currency when coins were mass-produced with an increasing focus on efficiency. And that's where things get interesting. Because, hidden among the countless, run-of-the-mill 1987 pennies are some incredibly rare and valuable coins that you won't believe even exist. You see, while most people think of the 1987 penny as just another piece of change, some rare 1987 pennies have a hidden story. One that could make them far more valuable than you'd ever guess. Let's take a closer look at some of the most intriguing and rare errors that have been discovered in these pennies. These are the types of mistakes that most of us would never even notice, but for a collector, they're worth a fortune. One of the most coveted errors is called a double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck twice by the same die, which results in a misalignment in the design. A double die penny can have a distinctive, doubled image, sometimes on the date, the lettering, or even the Lincoln Memorial itself. But here's the thing, not all double dies are the same, and some are much rarer than others. The more dramatic the doubling effect, the more valuable the penny. Can you imagine finding one of these by accident in your spare change? You could be looking at a coin worth thousands of dollars. But how can you tell if your 1987 penny has this rare error? I'll give you some tips so you can identify it yourself. Another rare flaw to look for is an off-center strike. When a penny is struck off-center, it means that the coin was not aligned properly with the minting press. This can result in a penny that's missing part of its design, sometimes just a small portion of Lincoln's face, or sometimes a larger chunk of the coin. Off-center strikes are unique, and collectors love them because they're irregular and visually striking, but don't think that these errors are the only things that can boost the value of your 1987 penny. There are also die cracks and chips that can make your penny worth more than face value. When the dies used to strike the coins become worn or damaged, they can leave behind tiny cracks and chips on the coin. And while these imperfections might seem like flaws to the casual observer, they are exactly what coin collectors are looking for. Now, grab your 1987 pennies and take a close look. Do you spot any unusual features? Double dies? Off-center strikes? How about any cracks or chips in the design? Don't worry if you're not sure, you can always take your coin to an expert, but with these tips, you'll be well on your way to identifying a potential gem. While most 1987 pennies are worth, well, just 1 cent, the right combination of features, such as a rare error or exceptional condition, can send the value soaring into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But before we get into the exact values, let me reveal something truly surprising. You see, some of these pennies aren't just sold by the handful. They've appeared at major auctions and coin shows, fetching prices that will make your jaw drop. In fact, a 1987 penny in mint condition with a dramatic error could easily command upwards of $500, and in some cases, the price might go even higher. It's true. While most of your 1987 pennies might not be worth much, there's one kind of 1987 penny that regularly pops up at auctions, and it can fetch a price so high it might just surprise you. How much is a 1987 penny worth? Well, the answer isn't as straightforward as you might think. Most of the 1987 pennies you'll find in your pocket or loose change are worth exactly 1 cent. But as we've discussed, if your coin has a rare error, whether it's a double die, off-center strike, or any other unique feature, it could be worth much more. For example, the auction results for error pennies from 1987 show coins selling for prices that you might not believe, ranging from a few $100s to several thousand. And keep in mind, the value of these coins is only expected to increase as the demand among collectors grows. In fact, some collectors are now seeking out these pennies in the hopes of adding them to their collections, and the rarity of certain errors is pushing the prices higher. If you've got a collection of 1987 pennies, now might be the time to start checking them more closely. You never know, you could be holding a coin worth a small fortune, so how do you go about identifying valuable 1987 pennies? First, let's talk about the mint marks. These little marks are located just beneath the date, and they show you where the coin was minted. A penny from the Philadelphia Mint doesn't have a mint mark, while coins from Denver and San Francisco feature a D or S mint mark. Understanding where your penny was made is important, especially because some mint marks are rarer than others. Next, it's time to look for errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, these are the types of things you want to be looking for. Grab your magnifying glass, check the date and the lettering, and see if anything looks off. Pay special attention to the Liberty on the obverse side of the coin, as well as the year. A small crack or extra lettering could make your penny much more valuable than you thought. Finally, let's talk about coin grading. This is where the real money is, because the higher the grade, the more valuable your coin becomes. To assess your 1987 penny's grade, you'll need to understand the Sheldon scale, which ranks coins from 1 to 70. Coins in mint condition are typically rated 65 and higher, while coins in poor condition can be rated much lower. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the growing interest in 1987 pennies. In recent years, there's been a significant uptick in collectors' interest in coins from the 1980s, including the 1987 penny. Why? Because collectors are beginning to realize the hidden potential in these coins, especially those with rare errors or in near-perfect condition, and as more people begin to discover the value of 1987 pennies, the demand for these coins is only going to grow. Some even believe that the 1987 penny could become a cornerstone of coin collections in the future. But with the increasing interest in these coins, the value could rise even more. So, if you've got some 1987 pennies in your collection, it might be time to take a second look and see if any of them are hiding a potential goldmine. Now, let me leave you with a final cliffhanger, the most valuable 1987 penny ever sold. This coin, with an extraordinary error, shattered auction records and became the most expensive 1987 penny in history. What was the mistake? And how much did it sell for? You won't believe the answer, but you'll find out in just a moment. As we wrap up, remember that your 1987 penny could be worth much more than you think. Whether it's hiding a rare error or it's simply in perfect condition, this seemingly ordinary coin might just be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, the next time you find a 1987 penny in your change, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it. You might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. And remember, if you do find something special, make sure to let us know in the comments. Who knows, your next coin could break records.